like someone's pulling your fingers to the ceiling. That's what you mean like you feel like 5 of them. Ready, go. You can pull your feet up. So 3 300s, 1 free, 1 IM kick on your back, and 1 IM drill.
When it comes down to it, Swim Dogs is our family. And, you know, there are parents that we'll go to for advice on things, and, you know,
and we trust that can, you know, give us answers.
And kids that we have babysit Van and, you know, take care of him. And we've had kids over to paint our house. And
dig holes for fences.
Yeah, it really is. It really is our family.
Yeah, since he was 2 months old, he's been on the pool deck basically every day. It's rare for him to miss a practice.
There's a lot of older brothers and sisters on the team that teach him mostly good things.
5 years ago, Ryan and I had known each other for about 15 total months, and the previous coaches, Mark and Dana, had decided to retire. And to be honest, Ryan and I were in the right time at the right place.
And so I had known Mark and Dana for quite a while. I met Mark on deck at Cherry Creek High School when I was coaching there previously, and he was coaching for Aqua Wolves at the time. And we reconnected when he started Swim Dogs, and I came to Swim Dogs and actually spoke to the team about my own swimming pursuits, and then we kind of kept in touch from there. And then he asked me to start coaching, and so I coached with my free time. At the time, I was also teaching high school science. Took over one day, and started learning from there.
A lot of the kids that swam, their parents swam back in the day and thought it was a good sport. So some of them happen to be still swimmers to this day, but others thought, hey, I could get back into it, and it's a good thing for my son or daughter and I to do together.
Usually I don't like to be weird in public or anything like that, but with those little kids, you can just dance around, or like you were dancing earlier while we were coaching.
I began coaching with Swim Dogs about 3 or 4 years prior to taking over the team, and I coached alongside Dana and Mark. I mostly was like a filler coach, and I coached the really young kids at a beginner level, and I also coached a handful of tween girls to start out with.
Swim Dogs is just full of laughs, and there's not a practice that goes by where you feel lonely or you don't like it. It's always fun, and you always have friends, and we're always laughing or listening to Andrew's funny music.
I started swimming at a young age and competing at a young age, and then when I was 16 years old, I was in a car accident which left me paralyzed, and I think at that time I was getting ready for my summer club team, and so really all the parents got together and said, well, how is she going to swim? Let's just make her a coach. So I actually started coaching when I was 16 years old because they didn't know what else to do. But I kept swimming and coaching alongside, and I just really grew to love it. And so for the last 20 plus years, I've been coaching on and off pretty much that entire time. So I had to learn just kind of trial by fire. When I first was injured and couldn't use my legs anymore, I had to kind of figure out how to swim on my own again. You know, there wasn't necessarily a coach that could coach me and say, this is how you should do it. And so I think ultimately that was one of the best lessons I could have ever learned. And I think that ultimately makes me a better coach, having a different perspective on what I had and had it taken away from me.
So we're the Kittleson family. I'm Jen.
I'm Elise.
I'm BJ.
And our son Bennett is 13. He's not here with us tonight. We've been probably swimming for Swim Dogs. This is probably our 3rd year.
I started in swim lessons when I was about 7, and then I went to swim cups, and then little dogs, then now I'm in big dogs, and it was really a challenge to get up higher.
And BJ and I do the Masters lane, which is fantastic because we get to exercise while our children are doing the sport that we love.
Yeah. It's not fun standing on the sidelines and watching your kids have fun. So it's really fun to be in the water and participate and just feeling like we're part of the team.
That was probably one of the first things I noticed was the family atmosphere and having master swimmers or adults or basically parents of the kids in the team swimming in the lane next to them, you know, and waving during sets, or being able to talk about doing the same workout at home whatever it was.
There was just this camaraderie that grew as people came and joined, and the message again was, instead of dropping your children off at the pool and going home and running errands or doing whatever you do, I mean, why don't you stick around and exercise as well?
Family Classic just brings back memories for me, competing and racing against others. So it's wonderful to participate and also have a showdown with my daughter here. So I think that's really fun, is being able to just be in that same fun but competitive frame of mind.
Well, I feel like the family swimming thing is like really nice experience to bond with like other team members and their families. Like when the new people come in and they come to this meet, they feel really accepted.
I think ultimately we see it as two things. One, a way for the kids to have a fairly low pressure meet, learn signals in terms of the whistles and the starting system and things like that, and kind of figuring out where you're supposed to be. But at the same time, I think the bigger goal is to have everybody come together at the beginning of the season and see who's on your team, and kind of get together. And we usually have the biggest turnout of the year on that night.
I think my favorite memories from being little on the swim team were the relays, because they were always super exciting, and we swam in every meet with Mark and Dana.
Every year we have some dad hop up for the first time and totally surprise us.
And smoke everybody,
Yeah, I would say the family meet is really fun because it's just a good meet at the beginning of the season that everyone can get their meet jitters out, and it's all about having fun, and when the parents race and the little kids race.
We have a saying that, even if we don't want to go to swim team, we've never regretted being in the water. We always feel better. That first time getting in, it's freezing cold, and you're just like, how can I even get through this next hour and a half? Somehow you make it through, and you just have this great sense of accomplishment, and you always feel better after swimming.